Hello, everybody. We're actually live right now on Blue Table Talk. I'm your host, Jeffrey Jones. Welcome to Blue Table Talk tonight. Tonight we have some marvelous guests. We have guests who are breast cancer survivors. They're warriors. And so we just need to talk to them about, their episode, their journey through breast cancer. Okay, so as always, I speak to you on COVID, and COVID is really going down in Beaumont, Texas.
Praise the Lord.
Yes, and we are so excited about this.
Yes.
And so let's keep it down. If you have not received your vaccine, you need to go ahead and take your vaccine. I've already had my third vaccine, and didn't have any problems with it. So go ahead and do it. So I did the Moderna, and I know that the Moderna booster is not out. It won't be out till possibly Wednesday. But I did the vaccine part of it. It was a full vaccine, and the Moderna. They said that the Moderna booster is coming in, and it'd be like a half a shot. So if you need to go ahead and get it, if you're over 65, you can do it now. And I just heard on TV that if you had Pfizer and then you want to take Moderna, you can mix them. So it is okay, just as long as you go ahead and take it. So if you haven't had any of your vaccines, you need to go ahead and take care of your business and go ahead and take those vaccines, because even though there are still some people who are dying from, even though they have the vaccine, full of vaccine, even though they're dying, but it does protect you from a lot of stuff. It depends on your underlying illness, whatever you have underlying. And I'd like to send my condolences out right now to Colin Powell and his family. Rest in peace, Colin Powell. He was such a great man. He did a lot for our country. And so to his family, God bless you and God keep you. Also, tonight we have our cancer warrior. And so as I talk to them, I'm just gonna say their names, and then they're gonna come on to set their own, and then they'll introduce themselves. So we have tonight Teresa, we have Teresa Cole, we have Ruth Landry, we have Julia Dent, we have Maxine Black, and we have Melvinice Broussard. So as they come to you, you remember, guys, you can feed off one another as I talk to you. However you want to do it, you can do it. So to my guests, I want you to go ahead and share the podcast. Let everybody know that we're on tonight, that the cancer warriors are here, and you just need to listen to them. And so as we go on, I'm gonna go ahead and start with Teresa. Teresa, introduce yourself and welcome to Blue Table Talk.
Thank you, Deborah, cousin. Hi, my name is Teresa Cole. A little bit about myself. I'm a wife of 46 years. I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and I have 5 grandchildren, 4 girls and 1 boy. I've been employed at Orlancio for 33 years, and I am a 4-year breast cancer survivor, come December 28th.
Wow. Ruth?
Hi, my name is Ruth Landry. I'm a retired nurse. I was in nursing for 36 years. I retired 2 years ago, so I've been a nurse for 38 years now. But I have 2 children, 2 girls, 1 granddaughter, and I'm just retired, enjoying it, and just doing whatever I want to do.
Okay. Julia?
Oh, okay. Hi, how you guys doing? I just walked in the door from school. I am a music teacher. I've been teaching. Oh my God, I'm not gonna even tell y'all because y'all gonna guess my age. But I've been teaching for a long time. I teach music. Right now, I'm teaching Vietnamese students how to sing, and we're getting ready for Christmas programs and things like that. And they're doing very well. And I'm married. I've been married over 40 years. I have 4 children and 4 grandchildren. So I'm here. I'm here today. I just walked in my house from school just a few minutes ago. So I'm here.
Maxine?
Hello, my name is Maxine Black. I am a retired correction officer of 16 years. I'm a widow. I have 2 kids, and I have 3 grandchildren. One girl, and I'm sorry, 2 girls and 1 boy. And I'm glad to be here.
And Melvinice.
Hi, my name is Melvinice Broussard. I'm a retired teacher. I'm married and I have 3 children and 1 stepson. I have 2 boys and a girl, and I have 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
And I'm like a newbie because I'm 1 year cancer free.
Yeah.
Wow.
1 year this past August.
Like I said, thank you for all you guys for coming to Blue Table Talk tonight, and we're just here to welcome you guys. So as we start, and I'd like to ask questions. So you just jump in, and I mean, if you have anything to say about anything, just go ahead and say it. Because we're trying to learn from you, because we're not cancer survivors. You are, and we want to know about breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and any type of cancer that you may had experienced. Okay, so what is one thing you wish you knew before you started treatments, or did you have treatments? And tell me about it.
Well, I'll start. I didn't have treatments because at the age of 31, I had my second child, and when I went for my 6-week checkup, the doctor found a spot on my cervix. So he did a biopsy and it was cancer. But so I did have shortly afterwards, a week or so later, I did have a hysterectomy. But I was blessed because the cancer, the cervical cancer that I had, was what we call in situ. And in situ means it had just begun. It just had the little capsule around it, and it hadn't burst or spread anywhere. So I was blessed that I caught it at an early age. At an early stage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The same thing with me. I went in for a regular mammogram, my yearly mammogram, and they occasionally have asked me to come back. They said, well, we just have something we're concerned about, and so they told me that, and I wasn't really worried because it's happened in the past. And when they called me back this time and they told me that we have good news and bad news, and I was like, so they told me that I did have breast cancer, but it was caught so early. It was less than 5 milliliters long. And so I just tell people it's so important to get those yearly mammograms. And the whole journey was really a blessing because it was found so early. I had a 30-minute surgery. I had only 4 weeks of radiology to do, where I know other people that had, a worse journey than I did.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed. Yes.
Okay,
Go ahead, Maxine.
Mine, I started at 37, and I knew something was wrong with my cervix. And the doctor, at that time, I had a hysterectomy. But then probably 12 years later, at 53, I had been going to the doctor frequently. Having my mammograms like everybody else, going and just having them, and they said they saw an abnormal left breast. It was abnormal. And so I was in the shower one day and I did my own self-examination, and I felt 2 little roll around, feel like marbles. So I called my doctor, and she wanted to do a biopsy, and I told her I was going to MD Anderson. Well, I went to MD Anderson, and they diagnosed me with, like Ruth said, inside tube duct. It was on the 2 o'clock. They take a clock, and you do 12, 3, and 6, 9. And so it was right on the 2 o'clock. I did go through 30 days of radiation. I lost the strength of my hair. And during that time, even going through radiation, I got to see a whole lot from around the world. So I knew I wasn't alone.
I was just sick. I didn't realize that I might have had cancer or what was wrong with me. I was steady working, working, working. And, I would go home, I'd take a couple of aspirins and lay down and get up the next day and feeling halfway decent and go to work, fussing with the kids at school. And until it was just that last program that I did. I had a piano recital with the children, and I noticed that I was just getting dizzy and dizzy, and I didn't understand why I was getting dizzy. And I don't even know how I survived the program, but I did. I guess I was just that strong enough to go through that program with my kids, and they did an excellent job on the piano. And when I got through with them, and gave out their awards and things like that, the parents would tell me, "Well, Miss Julia, are you feeling well?" I say, "Yeah, I feel okay." But at that time, I was not feeling that well. I went home, I got in the bed, and for I know one of my sisters came into the room, and she said, "What is wrong?" I said, "I just don't feel good." So I assumed that she called the rest of them, and for I noticed it was all I noticed all. I turned my head. I looked at all of them. Deborah, Ruth, all of them was coming down. And Ruth said one word to me, one sentence to me, and she said, "Francine, do you want to live?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yes, I want to live." And I was real strong about it. So she said, "You got to go to the hospital." I said, "Okay, let's go." And from there on, looked like a heavy load that was lifted off my head, and I was going somewhere. I was going to see what was wrong with me. At that time, I still did not know what was wrong with me at that time, until when I walked in there and the doctor went on and did films and things on me, and he stated to me, "I know exactly what is wrong with her." They didn't tell me, but they told my sisters what was wrong with me. They kept a lot of things away from me. You know what I'm saying? And I was losing my ability in walking. I could not walk, and I'm just now. My sister just now telling me. She said your legs were swollen. I didn't realize that my legs were swollen, and I fell out the bed. I would try to get up and walk on my own. I couldn't do it. So I was just real. They can tell you I was real sick. Through God, I made it through, and I'm here as of today. I can speak of that today, but at that time, I just couldn't say anything about it, about how sick I was. I was truly sick.
Teresa?
My journey is kind of spiritual. The way I found out I had breast cancer was I was just minding my own business at work, doing what I do, and my doctor called out of the clear blue sky. Now, I understand he's been my doctor since 1997. Never called me for anything. Didn't call me when he's supposed to call. Always used to call. But they called me, and the nurse said, "Hi, Teresa. This is Dana." I went like, "Yes." I'm thinking, what's wrong? My husband, my mom, my kids, what's going on? And she said, "Well, we're just going through our records and we're being audited by the state. And we just want to let you know that we see that you didn't have a mammogram in 2016. And I went like, "Oh yeah, I did. I guess I did." I said, I did the ultrasound because I didn't want my girls mashed. She said, "No, you did that in 2015. So I just started reflecting back, and I'm like, okay, my mother got flooded out. They opened up the floodgates, and I had moved her in with me. So my life was put on hold because I was taking care of my mother. She was handicapped. So I was like, okay, go ahead and set me up for a mammogram. And when I hung that phone up, and I was in my office, I hung that phone up and I went like, okay, God, what are you doing? What are you trying to tell me? Because my doctor has never, ever called me for anything. So I already knew at that moment that I had breast cancer, but it didn't have, I had it, but it didn't have me. And I at that time just walked out of my office and went into my coworker's office. And I went like, "I just got a call from my doctor." And she said, "What?" And I said, "I have breast cancer." you didn't tell me you was getting. I said, no, I am just letting you know that God has showed this to me just like that. But I'm okay with it. And sure enough, I went and I did my test, and I was in stage 0. And so, and I had N2, I recall it, but I had calcifications. When they decided to do the surgery, my calcifications, my margins were really large. So when they got in to do the first surgery, I got a call 7 days later from the doctor. My surgeon called me himself and said he had to go back in. And so I had to have a second surgery 2 days later. 7 days later. The only problem with that second surgery was I was scared to be going to Cancun for my son's birthday party. And so he said, we're going to schedule this and you're going to get to go to Cancun. Just don't get in the water. So my journey, so when I did 20 rads of radiation, and I had my radiation set up for 7:15 in Beaumont at Texas Oncology. My mom wanted me and my sisters wanted me to go to MD Anderson. But I had a bad experience with my father there at MD Anderson. So, and God didn't leave me there. So I stayed with Texas Oncology in Beaumont. I had an amazing team. And I set my radiations for 7:15. I was out at 7:25 and I was beating everybody to work. And I never missed a day of work. Oh, my hair did weaken. It grew and weakened all at the same time. It was growing, but it was getting thin. But my journey was a spiritual journey. I just asked the Lord to walk with me every day. The hardest part was getting in and out of a sports bra. But, that was basically it for me.
So, ladies, I'm listening to you guys. I see that some of you guys had breast cancer, some of you had ovarian cancer. What was the biggest, your first reaction when you found out that you had cancer, and how did you find strength to go through those treatments?
Well, when I first found out, my daughter was sitting with me, and it's strange. I need to go back. Did mammograms every year at St. Elizabeth. And not one time did I know what was the next step, because all he told me was, like I said, was you have an abnormal breast biopsy. And so when I came over to MD Anderson, my daughter was sitting there. I had the x-rays and biopsy done I had the x-rays on the 4th of October. On the 15th, they did the biopsy. In November the 15th, I had the surgery. I had a lumpectomy. So what got me through, because my daughter asked me, well, Mama, what you gonna do? I just told the doctor to cut them off. I mean, they wasn't big. I mean, with technology now and everything, they have so much. I am the first out of 8 girls out of my family that have a breast cancer. And it doesn't run in our family. And so they wanted to do what they call a bracket on the family, but I couldn't really tell them much because we are the younger generation. My mom had 4 sisters and 6 brothers. And, back then they didn't really talk about, the different things. So I didn't know where to go. My first cousins are like 85 as of today. 85, 86, and they that's how old we are. The younger generation, the younger part of my mom's, and my baby sister is only 50 years old. But the spiritual part of it that got me through, I knew God helped me, because with what I was going through, I wasn't afraid or anything. I didn't feel afraid. I had lost my husband approximately this month of 14 years, and he died with a cancer, which I didn't know. We don't even know where that came from, but he was young. He was 50. So later on, here I go, but I put my faith in God, and that's what got me through. I knew I had to live because I had children. I had grandchildren. I had sisters and brothers. And if it's God's will for me to live, that's what his will was going to be. But the doctor told me I was blessed because it had never blossom out, and I'm talking 25 plus years that I had it. I'm an 8-year cancer survivor as of October the 4th.
Mhm.
And that's
And
what
I'm
I
a
was.
7 year.
Yeah,
I'm a 7 year
yeah.
survivor. But you know, when I went to the hospital, now my sisters they kept a lot from me. I
Hmm.
didn't know what was. I mostly did not know what was going on. I didn't know what I had, was having, or I could have been having a baby and didn't even know anything about it because they didn't. They didn't tell me anything. Only thing they say it's gonna be. Only they say it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right, Francine. You know, and I would ask them what was going on. They never did tell me. Even my children. They just, just pat me on my head, say it's gonna be all right now. You just lay right there and let them do what they got to do. I did not know that I was so deeply sick the way I was until they told me after everything was over with. I knew I had to have surgery, but like I said, I knew that it was the kind of surgery that the doctors was going on in there and take care of the business like they supposed to. Now I had one sister, which is Patty. Patty just told me that they did not. The doctors said a prayer in the hallway. All the doctors got and said a prayer in the hallway about me. I didn't know how far this cancer was. Apparently, it must was on my last beam, and and I was just looking at them, and I would talk to them, and they would say, pat me and say, "Don't worry, everything's gonna come all right." Ruth, Ruthie, Deborah, Sherilyn, my brother, all even my children. They never did tell me what was going on. Only thing I remember when everything was over with is that they was gonna put me in the old folks home. And I laughed at I laughed at them. I said, "What?" And I knew what they was talking about. I said, "No, I'm not going there." But that's because I was not able to walk. They put me on the kidney machine. I stayed on that kidney machine for 6 months. I had chemo for 6 months, but they gave me the light chemo. It didn't
Mm.
pull my hair out. In fact, it made my hair grow. It's growing nicely now. I had to go through all of this, and I didn't know anything about all of this until at the very last moment that I had cancer. And the doctors that worked on me, they truly worked on me. And I am truly blessed. Through God, I don't know how I made it. Through my sisters, they was right there for me. And that's how I made it. Because my mother is deceased and my dad is deceased. I'm the oldest out of all of them. So therefore, they was there for me. And they did their part. So, and I thank them very much, that they took care of me the way they did, and especially Patty, the one that's here now. She cleaned me and everything, back. And I never did think that she was doing all this cleaning until she told me. She said I had to clean your body and everything. I said, no, you didn't clean me. I cleaned my own self. She said I did it. I said, oh, okay. And I am very grateful and I'm very thankful about what
Mm.
what have happened. So
Okay, before before
I was
anyone,
going.
before anyone else talk, wait, I'm gonna bring you back on. Before anyone else speak, let me talk to the audience. Will y'all please hit the share button and let you know that this is Breast Cancer Month. Share it so people can come in and listen to them. I want to say hello to all the listeners and the watchers. Hello to you guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to ask
I'm,
questions,
I'm
go
on
ahead
the,
and ask
I'm on Blue
questions.
Table Talk
Okay,
with
Teresa,
somebody.
go
I have
ahead.
to do that.
Oh, all I wanted to say was early detection is very, very important because my doctor told me had my family doctor not called me when had he waited 3 or 4 more months, I would have been in stage 4 breast cancer. So that's how I know that was the act of God because just a few more months, it would have been into my lymph nodes, and it did not. And I did not lose my breast. So I praise and thank God for that.
Right.
So
Yes,
I
that's
like
good.
I say, my journey was spiritual for me.
That's
I
good. Mine was
I do
also.
want you to know that I do want everyone to know that Teresa is my cousin, and we met. I think it probably was through Facebook. Was it through Facebook?
It was.
Through another cousin, and we talked. We was talking all the time, and at one time did she tell me that she was going through this. Not one time did she share it with us. And then when she did say something, I was like, why didn't you say something or whatever? But I thank God for all you guys, because I don't know what I would have done if I would have been on that journey. I mean, my doctor did find some cancer cells in me when I was getting ready to have a hysterectomy, but it was early detected. So, it was like, I'm going to go ahead and, because he was going to take out one ovary, then he took out both of them. So, and
I think I explained to you why I didn't. Well, my thing was I told my siblings and my mom and my children, and didn't want my grandchildren to know because I didn't want them to worry. But my thing was I live in a small town, and when people hear that you're sick, they kill you off.
right.
Or they say, "Ooh, she look bad," or "Ooh,
Yeah.
Lord,
Yeah.
you
You're in a
hurt."
big town.
So yeah, so I just wanted to walk in it privately and still look good while I was going through it, So and I had people to come up to me in church and say, I heard you had breast cancer, but you never missed a beat. You never missed coming to church. You always on vacation. So I just tried to keep doing what I was doing and just trust that God was just going to keep me going that way. And so I was taking radiation and in Haiti at the same time. So it was just like, I wasn't going to stop. I told my doctor said, why you keep going on? He said, you expect me to authorize all these trips? I said, God did not tell me to stop. He told me to keep going. He was going to take care of it. And that's what I did.
Oh, you guys, I met Melanie in the hallway just before school started. We were standing there talking, not met her, but we were speaking to one another in the hallway, and she mentioned to me that during the summertime she had cancer, breast cancer. I'm like, I'm asking you guys, how did you feel when the doctor told you? But when she told me that, my mouth just dropped. I didn't know what to say to her,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Melanie, you remember? And
Yes.
I was like, okay. And so I said, Mel, is it anything I can do for you? Don't pick this up. I mean, you never know what to say to a person.
I know it is. And what was with my situation by it being last year was in the midst of the pandemic. And so my emotions were just up and down because even my husband, nobody could go with me to my doctor's appointments.
Right.
I had to be in surgery by myself. My husband and my children had to wait in the parking lot. And so then one time they had a hard time getting my blood before my surgery. And they wound up having to get a specialist in. And I said, can I call my family? Because they had told us the surgery was only supposed to last about 30 minutes. And about an hour had passed. And they still trying to just get blood from me. So I called to let them know everything was okay. They just were trying to get blood. They got a specialist. They finally got the blood drawn. But, one day you feel good and you feel hopeful. And then the next day you just burst in tears for I just felt my emotions were just all over the place. But I had a few friends that had gone through the same journey and they really helped me. Mm-hmm. I could talk to them and, they understood, it's not to say that other people didn't, but they understood and they could share with me. But I think like I said, the hardest part of it was just having to deal with it all on my own. Because you couldn't have anybody with you during that time.
Mm-hmm. I have someone, there's someone on here, Beulah Norman. Beulah is one of my classmates. She says she's 24 years cancer free. So,
yes, she is.
Yeah,
I know Beulah.
Yeah, when I had it, when I was first diagnosed, I was very young. I had just had a baby, so my hormones were already, still out of place, just jumping on. So I did cry. I went home, cried. My husband was working. My sisters and my brothers were all working. And when they called me in that's when they called me to come in because I had an abnormal pap smear, of course. And my dad said, Ruth, I'll take you. And so he accompanied me to the appointment. My mom couldn't go at the time. I don't know why, what was going on. But he took me And it made me feel good, because someone is with you I was able to. And that's when the doctor, he didn't come in the room with me because if y'all know my dad, he just wasn't going to do that. But the doctor, when he told me that, because once someone tell you have an abnormal pap smear, you know what goes through your mind.
Your mind.
He told me exactly what I was fearing. And, and he said, go home, talk it over with your husband, see, what you want to do. So he did a biopsy in the office, and it did come back positive for cancer. And so we just moved from there. I just went on. I had just taken off from work to have a baby. So I was already out 6 weeks, and I had just gone back to work that week. And I had to go sit in my supervisor's office and tell her that I had to have a hysterectomy. And she said, and she was very good. She said, go ahead, Ruth, do it right now. So I did. And it was, I'm like I said, I was blessed. I didn't have to have any treatment.
And my experience, also, I came over to MD Anderson, and I mean, they were very, 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 they had very, very, very beautiful attitudes. I had a doctor which made you laugh. I was placed in a hotel that had a kitchenette, and because my daughter stayed on the north side, and to get my treatments, I had to drive back on the south side. And I didn't want to come because I was getting radiation. And so I ended up staying there. But every day she would come by, going to work. She was CPS worker, and I would be in the car. I fixed her lunch just like she was my little girl all over, because, when you're working like that, you just run and you don't really eat. But the one thing that I love, because my brother and sister-in-law came to see me and asked me what I wanted, all I ate, as far as my appetite, was a Baby Ruth.
She must have ate that Baby Ruth.
Watch.
I know Deborah Jones crazy.
Mine was Jello.
Anyway, so how did your family and your friends, were they very supportive of you guys?
My husband was amazing.
Yeah.
My husband,
Yeah.
my children were. My husband was my go-to. I cried and I had emotions, but he would always pick me back up and say, "Girl, stop that crying." He always had something funny to say or work on my nerves.
Make you laugh.
I laughed. So I had
keep your mind off of it. Right.
And my mother was living with me at the time, her and my stepdad, because they had been flooded out. So she was always asking, and she was calm, but I wouldn't stop. I would comb my hair. My surgery was on my left. I would comb my hair with my right arm. And, she'd say, "Girl, if you don't go sit down." But I tried to stay positive, and I tried to just keep doing things. And then you'll have the moments, I'll be somewhere and
by yourself.
Do you still have those moments? Do y'all still have moments to break it down?
My biggest fear, I go every 6 months. I'm on a 5-year program. So I go in June and December for my checkup. When it gets time for that checkup and take that mammogram, some anxiety.
Right.
And my husband knows it, because I'll be telling and then I try to lose weight, because my oncologist don't play with that weight thing. He say, keep your weight down, because fat creates cancer cells. So come April, I'm running the track and jogging because I want my doctor to be pleased with my weight. Of course. But
I was huge with mine. I was real huge. Go ahead.
So a question. So what I'm hearing from you guys, cancer is hereditary?
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes,
anybody in your family, like your mom had it, or your dad had it? Because I know I'm not talking to Ruth and Francine. In case you guys don't know, the audience don't know, Ruth and Francine. I'm sorry, Ruth and Julia Dent are my sisters. So I mean, I'm not talking to, but I will speak to them so you guys can know whatever. But I'm talking to the rest of them. Did your parents have it? Because our mom had it.
It's hereditary for me, but it's like the breast cancer, we don't know where it came from. Because like I said, they tried to do a bracket on me and tried to find out where it came from. Now, my mom died of cancer. I had a sister died of, think of ovarian cancer. And my mom died of a cancer of an unknown origin. And my father had mesothelioma. So, and I just had a sister that died, and we don't even know what she died from. We know, I mean, we know it was cancer, but we don't know what kind. Mm-hmm. So, and I tell my daughter and my granddaughters right now, because they're at that age, my daughter, of course, because it runs on both sides of the family. My mother-in-law had cancer. My husband died of cancer. My mother-in-law had breast cancer. And my sister-in-law had cancer. So it runs on both sides of the family. So they deem they need to go all the time.
You have to be checked. The rest of them have to be checked for it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Melanie? Anybody on your side?
Well, breast cancer, we don't know. It's not on either side of my family. That's why we were really shocked.
When it happened.
On both sides, no one had ever had breast cancer. Right. But like you were talking about the support, I'm blessed to still have my parents and my parents. I have one sister and my children. I mean, I couldn't have made it through the journey without, and wonderful friends. They all help you when you're having those bad days, and even when you try to hide it, your spouse, they know. Your family, those close friends, they know, okay, right. What's going on? What's everything's going to be all right. We're just going to keep praying. And even though the doctors are telling you, we caught it early, you still have those feelings still, right. What if?
What if? Yes.
When you go to your new doctor, and you have to do your history, if they'll always check to see. Some cancers are hereditary, and some cancers come from other things.
Yes.
So breast cancer is hereditary, or it could have skipped a generation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they ask you, is there breast cancer in your family, or is there cancer in your family? Yeah, it is hereditary. So, you could have some cancer genes that may never in your life react to develop a disease. But
and another thing, Deborah, I was on tamoxifen for 5 years, and that was to prevent it from going into the right breast. And like I said, I had very, very, very good support, of course, too. I mean, like I said, I have a bunch of sisters, and I'm like the red girls. They was up there like telling me what they gonna do, telling me about me and telling me to take care of. But the one thing that I love, I mean, I wouldn't eat nothing else. I would not eat nothing but that Baby Ruth and them Snicker bars. I don't know what it was, but they would bring me a whole bag, and I would eat them.
But that chocolate is codeine, not codeine. It's caffeine.
Caffeine, yeah.
I don't know.
They would tell you don't eat that caffeine.
Baby, I ate that. They'll tell you if whatever you can put in your mouth to keep you to eat, you eat it. You eat it and to get your strength. Yes, because I did that.
Right.
My aunt on my mother's side had breast cancer, but she didn't develop breast cancer until she was 80.
Wow.
And then she stayed on tamoxifen for 5 years, and then as soon as she got off of it, it redeveloped again at 85. And so we lost her last year. To breast cancer. It just started. She passed at 88. I think she was 88. But it had started to metastasize the second round of it. And so it is 3 of her nieces on my mother's side, myself, and I have 2 other first cousins that are breast cancer. One is going through her journey now, and one of them I think is like 12 years. And then I have a first cousin on my father's side that has breast cancer. So on my mom's side, it was my aunt, and of all the sisters, she was the only one.
We lost we lost my daughter-in-law like that. Her mother had it when she was when Trina was young, and now Trina had it also, and she passed. What, about 3 years now?
Two of
About
Yes,
three or four,
yeah,
about 3 or 4
she
years.
passed
Yeah,
at a young age.
yeah.
that's
Cheryl Richard Jackson
that's
says my mom and aunt had breast cancer,
yeah.
and also Janice Newman. Janice, you just shocked me. She says she's a 7-year breast cancer survivor. God bless
Yay,
you.
Janice.
Yeah,
Yeah, congratulations.
Mhm.
yeah.
But diet, if we're talking about the caffeine, diet is very important. You
Yeah.
know, I
Mhm.
like Diet Coke,
Mhm.
not trying to eat the sugar, but it still has the caffeine. So I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
converted to the non-caffeines
Yeah.
because
I eat it.
start getting an ache here or there, and you start. I'm a checker. I mean,
Mm.
I was checking my breast before I found out about I had breast cancer. So I'm just trying to figure out how that happened because I'm checking all the time and I'm still checking. I'll be in church doing this, you know. I should say, girl, put your
You
arms
right.
down.
You right.
What you want, an envelope or something? I'm checking
You know what?
and I have it, and I have to catch myself.
But just
You know what?
just because
I
you
can
have it
tell.
in your breast does not mean it's cancer, right?
Yeah,
No,
but
But you
I
still,
can
but you
tell that
still
she's
check
tender
them.
us.
I
Yeah.
I
still
can tell
check,
she's
and
tender.
I
But
was
you know,
checking and couldn't find anything.
even right
Mm-hmm.
now, mine
My breast is never just a lump.
after 8 years is still tender to the touch when I do have my mammogram checkup. And another thing a doctor was telling me, and Ruth could probably uh, come in on this. A lot of times, ovarian cancer, if you got ovarian cancer, you eventually have the breast cancer. So they told me to check both of them. And I know at the age of 37, I had to have it, but they didn't diagnose me with it. The doctor never did tell me because of the things that I went through with my cycle and how I was feeling. And Dr. Holloway did an emergency uh, uh, cervical removal
Uh,
on me. And she also, because she told me she was going to just take my ovaries, me and my husband decided, well, just take whatever you need to take. But she took one ovary and left it, And then 2 years later, I went back and had a totally hysterectomy. And yes, I was upset with her because she should have took everything
It makes
at that
sense.
time.
they don't like to take it all. They like
They
to
didn't
leave.
take
If
mine.
they could leave an
What
ovary,
they
they
could have took
try
it.
because women, we need those hormones. But even
Yeah,
though most of the time we have to go back and have it removed,
Anyway,
yeah.
they need
Well, that's
one,
what
they
happened
need,
with me, and that's
we have
that's
to go
not a
back.
good.
But some people, every now and then, somebody may not have to go back. They
right.
try
I'm
to
one of
do.
the ones that didn't have to go back. I don't. They didn't take it.
They
They didn't
took
take mine.
yours. They took everything from you.
You should
You
get
They
don't have
took it.
to.
See,
you need to get a mirror and
Y'all
look
just
at that.
telling her that.
they just not
Look,
telling me
look,
this.
look
They
at her,
took it.
Ruth.
They took it from me.
You got to
I
tell her,
mean,
Ruth.
I
Look
don't
at
even
her.
know what they took from me.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Look, they probably take everything from me, and I don't know. Even my breasts, they might have taken. I just don't know anything because they didn't tell me anything.
Well, now you got another thing to put on your exam when you go to the doctor.
Oh.
They didn't tell me nothing.
guys, one day I was at Francine's, I'm sorry, Julia's house. We were there for Thanksgiving. And I think that was the same year that my husband passed away. And we were over there. And so Francine was in the kitchen. She's always cooking. She's the cook, and she is Cheryl. And so, and and so
Love was slapping
I looked at Francine's leg, and it was so dark. And so everybody was afraid to ask her about her leg. So I said, well, I'm just going to talk. And so I said, Francine, why your leg so dark? And so she would just say, just leave me alone. And she would not say anything. That's before she even knew that anything was wrong with her. I said, you need to have it checked out because your leg is just too dark. And so I think after that, that's when Ruth went out there later on, about a month ago or whatever it was. And then that's when they found out that, as a matter of fact, they're told, had she not made it to the hospital then, she would have been a goner.
Wow.
So we just need to watch ourselves. We need to check out in all aspects. We never know what's what. And somebody tell you something, listen to them. and do what they say do. Not do what they say do, but go to your doctor and see what's what.
That's
Because
why,
cancer
that's why yearly physicals, if you've had problems with ovarian or reproductive areas with cancer, you need to still have a mammogram. Even though you don't have anything down there, you still need to have a mammogram because they'll scrape the walls to see if any cancer cells are there. As we get older,
Jay,
they have to have a pap smear yearly.
come here. They
History
lost
of
me
it.
on here. Come see what
So
you
you
get
need
me.
to have your pap smear, your mammogram,
You know
all
how to
of
get
that
me back
yearly
on?
female things, blood work, everything checked at least once a year.
And it's not you saying that. I've spoken to some friends of mine. We're all around the same age, and some tell me, because I still get my yearly pap smears, and and some of them tell me they hadn't been to the gynecologist in years, and I'm like, what?
Right.
You still just because you're through having children, you still have to get yourself checked out.
Right.
I got a sister-in-law like that, and I be on her all the time. And her mother died at 15 of with cancer, and she had her last baby, and she's my guard baby. And I think Whitney is 30, 32 or 33, and she have not been to the doctor. So, and I just talked to her because her sister just died of cancer about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And her mother, and I just keep trying to tell her, and she just don't go.
Some of us don't like doctors. I mean, I go to the doctor if I break my fingernail. That's
me too, Deborah. Me too.
I go to the I am a doctor free. I'm coming to you.
Me
but
too.
A lot of people do not like to go to the doctor.
Right.
I don't know if it's just that they're scared that they might find cancer.
I think it is.
Some people just don't want to know.
I think that they're scared.
And and fix it.
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah,
that's right.
An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I was in there doing my radiation, I received so many friends that I did not know from all around the world, because MD Anderson is an international hospital, and they had people coming from over, and I met a young girl that was pregnant. She had already had a baby, but she had radiation and chemo. And I was just trying to figure. So I mean, you look like I had some with radiation, no radiation, one breast, two breasts, no breast, but it gave me like that spiritual insight to thank God that, he saved me, and even to the day, I don't care where I'm at. I'm telling it. I tell it, and I thank God. Right. I tell it, you can never get up in the morning, and I praise God because He has been there in my life for a lot. Losing my husband had cancer. I'm 46. I was 46 and a widow. I mean, can you imagine? Then on top of that, I found out I had fibromyalgia. So that was another hard thing for my husband, just 50 years old. And I had to be strong for my children. I mean, with cancer. And we don't even know where it came from. We don't know anything, and the doctors cried with me there. The doctor and his wife, she was a nurse, they cried with me, because I was like in denial. I was mad at one of the doctors. I told him, just get away from me, because I didn't want to even hear it. Not cancer, since we've been married for 28 years. We was high school sweethearts.
So everybody on here, all y'all had radiation? Or
I had radiation. I had 20 radiation. 20 months a month.
I had both radiation and chemo.
Yeah.
I was 30 days.
Francine, you had radiation, chemo, and you had dialysis. So Francine was on, he was. Francine was really sick, really sick.
Praise God, because she looks good. She looks
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
And everybody tell me now, I mean, I hear the song all the time. You don't know my story, but you see my glory, because you don't know what I've been through. And you wouldn't, Deborah probably would have never knew. Ruth probably never knew that I had cancer, but I'm cancer free to this day.
I'm gonna be honest, Maxine. I thought you just had that surgery. what's that
No,
surgery?
ma'am.
Weight loss
Weight
surgery.
loss surgery.
Yeah. Because
I had.
I saw Maxine one day, and
I think
the
I saw her one day. She
next day
told me.
she was smaller, and I'm like,
Yeah, because Deborah been knowing me because Deborah took care of my children.
yeah.
Yes.
So
And I'm like,
so
what
that's how I knew
happened?
Deborah. Yeah, I
I
had
think
cancer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You and I think I had a conversation with.
Yeah. But I thank God for all you guys. You know, all y'all look good. All you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I know you get up and say thank you, Jesus, for
Every
Oh
morning,
yes.
in the
Oh,
evening,
every morning.
wake me up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
every night when
Yeah.
I get on. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let us have church up here.
Yes, sir. Let's have it. And I had my pastor was even good to me. My pastor would come by. You need something. I was almost tired to tell him, don't come back here no more. I mean, I'm doing okay, but my pastor was like a brother to me. You know, he was always there for me. I would have prayer meeting on the phone with them, and I was in MD Anderson. They was in Beaumont, but they would call me. We have prayer meeting on the phone every Wednesday night.
Yes.
Right.
My husband told my pastor before I
Well,
could.
definitely.
I called my pastor to tell my pastor, I have breast cancer. I have to have surgery. He said, "Oh, Brother Cole shared it with us in Sunday school this morning." I'm like, "Okay, well, praise the Lord." He was concerned, so he let the men in Sunday school, so they prayed, and so yeah, it's still a journey. I mean,
And prayer works.
It is.
yeah,
Prayer works.
It does. It does.
And like anything else, it takes a village.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. Yes,
And like I think Teresa said earlier, every time she go for her mammogram, she's nervous. Or every time I go for my pap smear, I'm nervous. So
You're gonna
mammogram,
be that.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah. You're
Even
gonna be
though I
like
keep
that.
my breast,
Yeah.
I still get nervous because
Yeah.
I know that those genes could arise again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, one thing I want to say, like some of us went to MD Anderson and some went here in Beaumont. Now I did go to MD Anderson for my initial treatment and my surgery, but I chose to do radiology out here in Beaumont just because it was convenient not to go back and forth. But I think both facilities, especially St. E, very good. You know, when they saw my results at MD Anderson, they praised St. E because they said, I don't know how they even seen this. It was so small.
I
And I tell them, they call me still and check on me, the St. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And I told them the first time they called, I said, MD Anderson praised you all. They said that you all doing a phenomenal job because they don't know how you saw that. It was so tiny.
Right.
And so, like I said, so whatever decision a person makes, I think right here in Beaumont, they do just as well as MD Anderson.
Right.
I went to Memorial Harmony.
Yeah, I did Texas Oncology Baptist Hospital. And I had an amazing team. I had Dr. Humble. He just retired. He was my surgeon.
Oh, he retired.
Excellent. Yeah, I got a letter. Yeah, he's retired. Okay. And I had Dr. Sheen as a radiation. And I have Dr. Humble as my oncologist. And I tell you what, he's amazing. So anybody that has any concerns about you're not being able to get to Houston, they have a great team. I have a cousin now. Right. And she did MD Anderson. She had both of her breasts removed, and she did MD Anderson. But going back and forth, she has to do radiation. And so she called me, and I highly encouraged her to use Texas Oncology, and she is. So you know, some people can't make that journey; they don't have time, and they do have amazing
and especially when it comes to the radiology and the chemo and stuff. I mean, taking that drive every day, you know,
you're already sick.
And a lot of times what people don't know, if you don't know that information is out there, I helped a friend of mine, Pam, because she had came to me and she didn't even know that I had it. And she works for the school district, but she went to MD Anderson. They will put you up. All you have to do is call a cancer society. And they will work with you. I mean, people don't know. They work with you. They put me up in 2 hotels. I didn't pay not one dime. Not one. The bus came and picked me up every morning and took me over to MD Anderson to have my treatment and back at the hotel.
Was
That's
that
how
through,
you.
was that through your insurance?
No, they that so Cancer Society. That a lot of people do not know. When I got back to Beaumont, like I said, my hair, I lost the length of my hair. I went to what they call Feel Good and Look Better. It's
Mhm.
with the Cancer Society. They have wigs. They show you how to make them scars for your
Heard of
head
that.
if you have cancer. It's here on off of Stag Drive off of 11th Street, and I went there and they show you how to make a woman feel good. You know, to feel good because you know you down, and then they make you
Right.
feel good. They find the makeup
Mhm.
that goes with you. They give you a whole bag. I mean, you'd be
Mhm.
surprised of the information that is out there. And I
Mhm.
tried to share with a lot of people. I mean, I had a wig, a human wig on my head, and it looked just like my hair.
Yes.
Mhm.
But they do everything, and that was in Beaumont. I mean, this look feel better. I mean, they make that woman feel
Yeah, I
because
know.
she
I
didn't
know what
had two breasts off or one breast, and you know you feel down, you know. And I'll never forget, make y'all laugh. And my doctor say, well, you know, I can put some skin in there and put it back up. And I told that doctor, I said, let me tell you something. I'm unique. When God made me, He made me in His own image,
there you
and
go.
That's right.
That's right.
nobody else got a dent
Nobody got
in
another Maxine.
got a dent in their breast. And what people have to really realize, women when they are examining themselves, if you haven't, Ruth, help me out. I'm told I got so much on it. When you have an indentation in your nipple, it turns in, it goes in, and
And
the other one is out. You
right.
have to check that out. That could be cancer.
That could be cancer.
Yes,
It could be it could be
yeah,
pulled. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
That's how we
Mhm.
correct.
Let's look at the
Mhm.
time going now. Now, so what message would you like to provide women in the community? Just one little synopsis. What message would you like to provide with?
Get an exam. Get
Yes.
and do your own self exam. When you're in the shower, you can do it yourself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You can
And
do it
breast
yourself.
cancer is not death.
That's
Does
Right,
not
right.
mean you're
That's
gonna
right.
die.
That's
It
right.
is
right.
not death. You can
That's right.
live. You just got to be positive.
Yes.
Mhm.
Positivity
Mm-hmm.
is
You're
is
right.
the
You're
key.
right.
Like
You're
Max
right.
and like Maxine said, with a good thing I would tell patients is
Mhm.
choose a day of the month. Say I was born on the 25th of the month. Use that date every month. You
Mm-hmm.
take a shower and you do there are cards that could show you how to
How
do
to
a
do
breast
it.
exam.
You're
You can get
right.
it from your doctor, you can get it from your gynecologist, whoever, wherever you go to get your pap smears from, and you pick a date. If it's a date, the third, if that's a day you like, use every month. Do that. Do those breast exams. If you when your body hurt or when your body feels bad in any kind of way, that's your body telling you that it needs
Something's wrong.
help.
And on the breast exam, let me say this. I was a chronic breast examiner. Why I don't know,
Get
but I never found
yeah,
a lump
yes. Get those
ever.
mammograms.
Yep, mine was through a mammogram. However, when my doctor was examining me, he found it was right up under the nipple. Now
Mhm.
I'm all over the nipple and I never felt it.
Mhm.
So sometimes you even miss it with so you've got to get your mammograms and your ultrasounds, whatever
You
your
got to
doctor.
get.
Mine
You're
was
right.
so small, like Melvin's. Mine was small, very like the grains of rice, very, very tiny. But they were
Mhm.
scattered everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And don't ever feel like you're alone. We all, just like here, we're sharing our story. Everything we go through is a testimony,
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
to
Yes.
help and share with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I think when people go through, sometimes, especially if they're private, they don't want to say anything, but it's a hard thing to go through and not have anybody to lean on.
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
had a friend to ask me yesterday. I've been wearing pink every day to work. I
Mhm.
started October the 1st. If Saturday, Sunday, well, pink Sunday, every
you
day
like
I've
you
been
like
wearing
me.
pink.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. And so I had a friend, she said, you've been wearing pink every day. I went like, because it's breast cancer month. I said, I'm grateful and I'm thankful and I'm blessed.
Yeah.
And I want the world to know what God has done.
Yes.
And
Yes,
what
yes,
he
ma'am.
brought me
Yes,
through. I'm not
ma'am.
ashamed
That's
of it.
right.
Hey,
Yes.
he chose me and I'm gonna walk in grace.
Yes,
with
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I
So,
have a little grandson, and he's only 13, but he plays football, and he tells his mom how he faithfully wear his pink socks. And
yeah,
he really support me. I'm doing this for
That's good.
grandmother.
yeah.
And
Oh,
That's
that
good.
really touches my heart.
Real
I
men.
broke
That's good.
down last week. I traveled to go see my grandson. He plays college football, and it was pink out, so we all had our pink. And when I got on the field to hug his neck, he calls me mother, and he had his wristband. He had "Mother, I love you" in pink. That almost took me out. It
Wow.
really
Yeah,
did.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it would.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So it gets emotional. It
Yes,
just
it
does.
does. Yes, it
Yeah.
So
does.
I know that you guys are right now living your best life.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
I
Yes.
am.
Oh yeah.
You're probably living it different from you did before you had this breast cancer or ovarian cancer or any type
Right.
of cancer. You're probably living it different.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I don't worry about the
yeah,
small stuff.
right.
Yeah.
I'm still
I don't
doing my
stress about the
exercise,
small
Deborah.
stuff.
I'm here in Houston right now because I came over here to help my daughter, because they, like I said, they work on the south side and with these kids. And I get up at just like I'm going to work, and I go right down to Connect Fitness, whatever this exercise place is. And
Right.
I'm with Silver Sneakers, and God has
Right.
been truly good to me. I get up and I go do exercise. Whether
Right.
it's walking in my neighborhood, I go get on there like I'm 20 years old.
That's that Snickers bar again.
Uh-huh. She going
Uh-huh.
again.
It's a
But what she was
Super Bowl.
saying, exercise and diet is very,
Yeah,
very,
exercise
very,
is good.
very
It's
Right.
important. Yeah.
yes. Well,
I
I'm
have
not gonna hold you up because I want to respect your time. And in order for me to respect your time, I need to get off here. I mean, I don't mind going another 30 minutes, whatever, but I know everybody's busy and whatever. So thank you for being on Blue Table Talk tonight. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you even answer me when I asked who could come and speak on Blue Table Talk. And you guys were the first ones to say, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. And a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. And I don't know. I think talking helps a lot of people.
It does.
It helps you.
It does.
I know it's in every situation that I go through. If I talk it out, I feel better. But
Right.
but sometimes you gotta be very careful about who you talk to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I ain't tell everybody. Somebody be praying, "Woo, take her out, Lord."
But again, we can't worry about what they think about it.
P-R-E-Y.
You can't worry about
You
it.
can't worry
Yeah.
about what people say. You just gotta go
No.
ahead on and
Yeah.
and us right
Yeah.
in here, it just feel good to. I know I'm not alone, like Ruth said
Hey.
earlier. I know somebody else is just like me.
Right.
Right.
So I thank God every day. Whatever, if He give me breasts, He don't. Because like I told my daughter, and one of the things I'm make y'all laugh. After I had my surgery, I was laying down when my granddaughter was 2 years old, and I felt something wet, and I didn't know. I thought it was milk. Honey, when I tell you I had clotted, Ruth, and you know what that is. So I had to end up going back to MD Anderson emergency room. And when I tell you they pushed out clotted blood, and it was just like grape jelly. My daughter said, "Mama, you should never eat no more grape jelly no more." Look how it's coming out. And I just sat there and let them mash on it and get it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I enjoyed you, ladies.
I enjoyed you
y'all.
all.
I
You
enjoyed all
Nice
of y'all.
meeting you,
Yes.
Maxine.
And nice meeting you all.
Nice
Thank
meeting
y'all.
you. Deborah froze, so
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, she's
They probably did it.
staring at us.
She probably did it from keeping from top. She told us to stay on anyway. She told us.
Yeah.
So don't go nowhere. She
Right.
probably getting her.
she might be
she getting
talking
her
to the
people off.
audience. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She could
She
be.
getting her
Talking
You
people.
to the
doing what?
audience.
Yeah, she getting her people off.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. And
Well,
then
where's
she'll come back in.
I guess she gone completely this time.
No,
Well,
she said.
I
she
think
said
she'll get them
She'll come
on,
back.
and then she'll
she'll
come
come
back.
back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Well, I know I'm tired. My kids are trying to sing the Greatest Showman, that musical, and
Oh.
I'm working with those sopranos. They about to gear me out the room, classroom.
You need me to help
No,
you?
Ruth, I don't want you to sing nothing for me.
Ruth.
Ruthie don't come stand. Ruthie will stand on the side of me to sing, and she know I don't want her on the side of me because she sing off pitch.
That's okay, Ruth.
See, she, they know that I can sing. That's
But
my
the
that's my
Lord
major.
love it.
Yeah, but
Lord
that's not
knows.
all.
You're doing
That's
it from
not
the
all.
heart, huh, baby?
There you go.
Yeah, but that heart need to go somewhere else. Baby, put her on the side of me. I tell her go but sit back there with the men. But she tries, bless her little heart. She tries. So anyway, I just not too long walk in. So now I got to go and put my music on and get these words down. And the music that I'm teaching the kid, I got them in 4 parts singing. And that is very difficult to try to work with kids on that. Yeah, I got junior high and high school kids.
Oh,
So
wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm testing every day.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Deborah says she's not coming back on. So she
Okay.
said,
Okay.
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 Well,
Good night, everybody.
nice meeting y'all.
Nice
Nice
meeting
meeting
you.
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Look, bye bye, new cousin. I've never met you before, but bye bye.
Who?
Oh,
You,
Julia.
Julia, you have met me
I'm
You have
trying.
we had a
at the
luncheon.
dinner, at the lunch.
Yes.
Oh,
We had
luncheon.
We had the
yes.
big luncheon.
Oh, okay. You was there?
Yes.
I was the
Okay.
one hosted
He
it.
was one of the hosts.
Oh,
Her and Deborah hosted it.
that's right. You sure did. That's right.
Yep. I'm gonna send you pictures of you at the dinner. I'm gonna tag it to your page.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, tag it to me.
Okay. Take
All
care.
Okay,
right.
Good
then.
night.
All
See
right.
y'all later.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.